Hey mi gente, I am Julian Steve. Nice to meet you if you are new here, but if you are a return subscriber and or viewer, thank you so fucking much. Usually on my channel, I discuss Afro-Latino and Black people commentary in general, but there'll be times I be branching out to numerous topics that don't involve Black people as a whole. So today is one of those days. Today we're going to be discussing my experience at St. Francis College, the college I graduated from a month ago by the time this video comes out. Enjoy. St. Francis College is a private college in Brooklyn Heights, New York. According to Wikipedia, my least favorite site, it was founded in 1859 by the Franciscan Brothers of Brooklyn, a Franciscan order, as the St. Francis Academy, and was first private school in the Roman Catholic Dionys of Brooklyn. St. Francis College began as a parochial all-boys academy in the city of Brooklyn and has become a small liberal arts college that has 19 academic departments which offer 72 majors and minors. The original St. Francis College's location was on 300 Batik Street in Cardboard Hill. Fast forward to the 20th century, the school relocated to 5 buildings at Remsen Street. The school purchased the building from Brooklyn Union Gas Company in 1963. There were additional constructions happening to improve the building through the decades. Fast forward to the 21st century, additional renovations were completed. These renovations include the college's basketball court, the school's library, theater, classrooms, and more. Keep in mind, all these renovations were done by 2005. Now, St. Francis College will be relocating to the Wiener Building at 179 Livingston Street in downtown Brooklyn. Now I'm going to be discussing the pros and cons of St. Francis College. One of the pros of St. Francis College for me is that it's a small school. On average, there's about honestly, it's around 2,500 to 3,000 students on average. I'm not sure how accurate my statistics are, but I do know that my school is a small school. And then when you count faculty members too, it's about 2,500 to 3,000 people overall in the school. And I also like the infrastructure of the building. I like how it has an old feel to the building and the way everything is designed. Of course, I already know that they had to combine buildings together within the building for its amount of students and faculty members, but I don't know. I just like it. It gives me a historic feel when I'm in the building. There are a majority of degrees on campus. There are associates, bachelor's, and master's degrees. Number 3, I think. Surface level, the school is diverse. According to Wikipedia, again, American Indian or Alaskan Native, 1%, Asian or Pacific Islander, 4%, Black non-Hispanic, 24%, Hispanic, 28%, Native Hawaiian or other Pacific Islander, 1%, white non-Hispanic, 26%, two or more races, 3%, race ethnicity unknown, 4%, non-resident immigrant, 9%. What I appreciate about my school, well, my formal school, because I graduated, was how they put so much emphasis for people, for example, me, who have numerous identities within one, because my ethnicity will be Hispanic and or Latino, but I always make sure to identify my race, which, in case you do not know, I'm Black. Yeah, that's my race. What I appreciate about my formal school was how they try to make sure if you have numerous identities, you could identify within a certain category that fits you best. Whenever they asked me if I was a Hispanic or Latino, I always make sure to put yes. And then when they ask for my race, I always put Black or African American, because it's usually a category for everyone who is Black to identify as Black or African American. For the most part, the faculty at FSC cared about my education and genuinely wanted to see me succeed. Sure, there were times I felt like faculty didn't care, which is also fine because I graduated. And I forgot to mention, this includes professors, advisors, and tutors at the school, and then of course the other faculty members who genuinely try to help me succeed within the school. I appreciate the amount of clubs within the school and organizations. I'm going to name the main clubs that I tried to join and or participate in, which were Terrio TV. I was the vice president of Terrio TV. I did numerous video content. I did numerous editing, numerous filming, like me directing. I think I only directed a few times, not too much. But yeah, I did directing too. I also written scripts. I genuinely helped get more members of color to join the club. I did numerous things within the club. You're gonna see, we're gonna talk a bit more about the club. Then I was going to join BSU, which stands for Black Student Union, and I had a negative experience in that club, which I'm going to talk about next. Then I was in NABJ, which stands for National Association of Black Journalists. Yes, journalists. I hope I got this right. I was in NABJ. Thanks to my friend Amanda for allowing me to participate within this club, and a few of my friends were in this club too, which includes Kayla, it includes Sierra. We were all together with Amanda and two other members too. And I genuinely appreciate Amanda for bringing us to this club and trying to make this club run, even though we didn't have enough time to do as much work as we wanted to. But I appreciate every moment I had the opportunity to interact with numerous people. But yeah, out of all my clubs, that was the only club I didn't have a negative experience in. And it's funny because I didn't do too much in there too. That's the crazy part. There are numerous national honor societies. By the way, I am part of the National Communication Association. Yes, I am. The location of the school is located near numerous restaurants. Yeah, restaurants, stores, and yeah, so that's a benefit as well for people like me who want to eat around the school or who does not want to eat within the school. There are numerous athletic activities and events, and if you want to be an athlete, you could be an athlete in the school. Yeah, I was going to join volleyball, but I ended up I ended up not joining. I was like, because the moment I saw the training and how competitive it was, I was like, I'm good. Sorry if this distracts you, but I need to put this here because one, I need to charge this, but two, we at the Cons of St. Francis College. Number one, the escalators. I'm telling you right now, if you attend St. Francis College and you have went on the escalators, there are chances that the escalators are going to be acting up sometime within the day. It could be the morning, the afternoon, the night. Honestly, it all depends within the day. There's always that one escalator that does not work or acts up within the day, or vice versa. Racism. The racism in this school. Oh my god. So I'm gonna start off. So the N word. The N word is used too frequently by non-black students. Mostly in my experience within the school and for what I've heard, it's mostly from non-black Latinos using the N word. I've heard white students using the N word as well, and a few other non-black students, but most of the time it was from non-black Latinos. I have a story. So, back when I was a sophomore at SFC, some dumbass non-black Latino, he was asking me how do I feel about minorities getting a full ride to attend FCC or some type of scholarship or scholarships to attend FCC, yet people like him and all white people get to pay to attend St. Francis College. It was something stupid like that. And then keep in mind, my friend who was with me, one of my friends, he was white, while my other friend, he's Mexican, but he's a non-black Mexican. But if you see my friend, you could tell by his features that he's mestizo. So I do not know why he asked that stupid ass question, but it was so disrespectful. And I remember I was so mad. I forgot what I said to him, but I basically told him that I don't see an issue because at the end of the day, they worked hard to get these scholarships because not everyone gets a free scholarship from SFC. So I said something like that, and it's crazy because I myself had scholarships while I was attending FCC. So when he said that, I was so annoyed. Now when I think about it, he's dumb too because I have friends who are white and they attend FCC and they have a scholarship too, or scholarships as well. So what the fuck is he talking about? Ugh. There have been professors and students being publicly exposed for being racist. And I have to share one more thing. So the day of my graduation, I was amongst mostly white people within the section because it went by our last names, and my last name started for L. So I was with numerous white students within the same row, and the ones that were near me on behind me, basically, they pissed me off because this white guy that was amongst us, this white man, he pointed out his girlfriend when we were on the line outside of the venue to go to the graduation. His girlfriend was there, right? And his girlfriend, she's black. So the woman that was near me, she reacted to it in a very nasty way. She was like, "That's your girlfriend?" And then he was like, "Yeah, that's my girlfriend." And then she was like, "The one with the dreads? The one with the braids?" And then he goes, "Yeah, that's my girlfriend." And then she goes, "I didn't expect to look like that." You know, she said it in a nasty way, like she was disgusted, like she was in shock, which she was, but she said it in a way that was very disrespectful. And then one of the other girls that were there with them, she was laughing as if that was funny. That's not funny, because it's clear that she was being racist. And then what's worse is the white man, he did not defend his black girlfriend. Ugh. The colorism in the school with the black student population. Oh my God. This is where BSU comes in. So I was going to join BSU while I was also joining Terry TV. First, I went to one event. It was a debate, and it was something about the N-word. By the way, I believe the video is still on FCC Terry TV's YouTube channel, where we will do a debate about the N-word, who can or cannot say it. Which, by the way, that shouldn't even be up for discussion. If you're not black or mixed with black, I do not want to hear your opinion on this topic, because no.
Time is this?
I don't believe any person that is a non-person of color should say the N-word, because the thing is, you don't know the negative connotations of that word. Some people were murdered, that's the last word they heard. You know, like for example, redlining, because you're a Negro, you can't financially better yourself and move up into a higher class. You can't do that. The color of your skin defines you. The hue of your skin defines who you are. And then you want to be like, oh, let me take it an inch further. Let me try and say this word so I can have the whole identity while I don't have to face what it's like to be a black person every single day. Being black is not conditional. I can't take it off and be like, damn, let me walk in my privilege. I just can't do that.
Okay, really quickly, the question is, Parker, can white people or other ethnic backgrounds say the N-word? All the people that think they can.
This shouldn't even be a topic in general, but I get it. They were trying to have a conversation, specifically the former president, which was my friend, once again, Amanda. I'm telling you, Amanda has done numerous things within the school, but I appreciate Amanda's direction within the conversation, because she genuinely did not agree with non-black people saying the N-words, but she was trying to have a discussion. And I appreciate Amanda trying, even though I was kind of annoyed hearing these other people saying their ignorant opinions about the N-words.
Well, we use the N-word, and correct me if I'm wrong, as a term of endearment. Mm-hmm. So if I have a white brother and he's showing me love, why can't he address me how I would address him? Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
But now we're gonna skip to when the pandemic hit. This happened in 2020. It was within the same year. So around October 2020, there was this event, and by this time, my friend Amanda, she was not the president of BSU. So there was a new president, and then the e-board, the whole e-board, which was full of black men, they were making fun of Harriet Tubman and making fun of her features, making fun of her clothes, making fun of, like, making jokes about slavery. I was just disgusted the whole time because it's not funny, it's not cool, and on top of that, there were numerous people there, and I know they were uncomfortable too, including myself. I was very uncomfortable. I was about to leave. That's how bad I was. I was about to leave, but I didn't want it to because I didn't want them to assume that I was weak or that I was offended, even though I was offended. After that, I was like, this is my first and last time joining a Zoom link with them. Do not get me wrong, I do appreciate the club because I supported my friend Amanda. I met a few members. I met them within this club, which includes my good friend Parker. I met Parker within this club, and that's how we ended up meeting. But that experience pissed me off. And then fast forward, my friend Amanda, she tried to get me to talk to the new president of the club in 2021, but we ended up not talking because every time when he wanted to talk to me, he was always busy. Colorism is rooted in the school because even the athletes, the black athletes, are colorist too. Specifically, the black male athletes. Not all of them, but some of them, yeah, they colorist. The career center barely helped me find any internships and or work opportunities, but I do have to thank Brother Gregory and Nomani, I hope I'm saying her name right. Thanks to these two amazing people, they genuinely tried to help me get job and internship opportunities whenever I asked them, but it didn't work out in my favor because, yeah, it just happened. But I did receive numerous opportunities thanks to these two amazing people. I did have a bad experience with Mr. Hughes's, and I'm not going to go into detail about it. I'm just going to say it all started when I talked to him on a Zoom call back because of the pandemic, and he was being very disrespectful to me when I asked for help to fix my resume. He tried to belittle whatever I do for Terry TV and in general what I've done within the school, as if I have not done anything within the school. And then when I actually explained more into more detail, that's when he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you could put this, or this, and change this. The Versal office is a nightmare. I've been there a bunch of times, and mostly when I was a freshman and a sophomore, not when I was a junior and a senior. Usually I just emailed them because whenever I went in person, one of the faculty members that were working there has a nasty attitude. I'm not even going to say who he is, but if you know who I'm talking about. Next topic, the food. While some people have their criticisms of FCC's food, I like the food, but this is my opinion. The prices of the food within the school is expensive, especially the healthy foods, not the junk foods or the fast food foods. And I'm not the only one who has been complaining about that. The bodies of knowledge. Oh my God. When I'm telling you the bodies of knowledge really messed me up within the school, it did. I'm not going to say all my all my grades are messed up within the bodies of knowledge, because I actually had a few A's and B, and I had a bunch of B's, and I definitely C's, because it was hard. It was hard, the bodies of knowledge. I'm going to be honest with you, especially the ones that weren't a part of my major focus, which was almost all of them. I did not mind taking U.S. history courses, but what I did mind was taking science, math, music courses. I did mind those. Advisors. I'm not going to front. I had amazing advisors until I was about to graduate. That's all I'm going to say about that. I do not want to disrespect people. The lack of diversity with the professor faculty members. This is true. I barely had any black, mixed with black, no people of color professors. It was rare, definitely, and I hope the school tries to aim to get more black, mixed with black, and people of color professors. And I know, and I'm not saying the white professors are bad, because they taught me well within the school. Obviously, trust me, I wouldn't make it this far if they didn't. But that still doesn't change the fact that it's good to have professors from different backgrounds as well. The final part everyone have been waiting for. What I went through as the vice president of Terry TV. I'm going to try to organize this story to the best of my ability without exposing anyone's names. I'm warning everyone, just because I mentioned certain people's names does not mean I'm talking about them specifically. But if you know, you know. I joined Terry TB when I was a sophomore at St. Francis College. When I went to the club, I was greeted in a respectful way with thanks to Antonia and David, the former vice president of Terry TV. They were genuinely nice to me always from the beginning. They never made me felt uncomfortable within the club. But the other members, they did make me felt uncomfortable when I was in the club. And I'm going to be honest, it's because most of the members were white and or non-black people. So when I joined, it was kind of like, damn, I'm one of the few black people in this club. So when I was in it, I kind of was nervous. I was like, how am I going to survive? Because you have to work twice, if not 3 times harder than your white and non-black counterparts at times when you're in a space that isn't welcoming towards people that look like you. So when I was in the club during this time, I ended up trying to make a show called The Beat. Wait, no, Double Beat. That's the original name. The new name is The New Beat, but the original name was Double B. And it was me, this other person that I'm not going to mention on this channel. Me and this other person, we ended up making the show Double B, and the pandemic hit. I had to change certain things, and then I ended up handling the show. Then David graduated, and then Tim graduated. So they gave Brian the authority to become the president of Terry TV. So then Brian ended up deciding who's going to be what in each positions, blah, blah. So then Brian ended up choosing me to be the vice president of Terry TV, and I accepted it. numerous things happened. So before it was official that I became the vice president, I was having issues with the previous host of Double Beat. Me and her, we had a fallout. It's a mess, yeah. So basically, I was trying to do stuff during the pandemic, and the other person chose not to. And when I told them that we have to, because if we do not, Tim and David and the professor, which is Professor David, who was the moderator of the club, are going to think that we do not want to participate within the club no more. Especially because we were new. We were still new. We were months within the club. And then this person was mad at me, telling me they're not going to be filming within the pandemic. Keep in mind, at the beginning, the person did said yes, but then they changed their mind, which is understandable. You can change your mind, but do not talk to me crazy. That's what this person was trying to do. They were talking to me crazy, so I ended up doing everything by myself. And then this person wanted to be the vice president of Terry TV, but Brian ended up saying no, and then he chose me. Even though I was the main person he thought of, but he was thinking about the other person too. But once he chose me, this other person acted out and started to act very different. Yeah. So we in 2020 still. I'm months within my presidency as vice president of Terry TV. The president, which was Brian, he ended up making meetings frequently through Zoom, because this was during the pandemic and we all had meetings. And then there were times that he allowed me to lead the group and the meetings. And then there were times where certain members tried to interrupt me, that I'm not going to mention my name. If you know, you know. Tried to interrupt me and not allow me to speak whenever I had to say something within the meetings and share what we have to do within the club. There were times in the club I felt like I was not useful because certain members maybe felt that way. For example, there will be meetings with Professor David in private, and they wouldn't include me within those meetings. Keep in mind, I'm the vice president, so I'm supposed to be within these high meetings and or events, but they didn't want to include me. I don't know why. There were times that huge accomplishments happened and I was not properly credited, like saying directly thanks to Julianne. No, none of that. It was always thanks to this person, this person, this person. And I felt like I was used certain times too as well in the club. And I felt like I didn't belong in the club too. And there were times I actually wanted to quit. The club was stressing me out sometimes. And then there were times that I didn't want to come to meetings on Zoom. There were times I didn't want to go to meetings physically too, because I felt so drained and upset that I'm not valued for my work that I've done in the club, because I've done so much things. I done the new beat, I done Black History Month tributes. I also advocated for more Black people of color and women overall to join the club. I advocated for numerous things to change because there were people criticizing the club for its lack of diversity, and I was trying to make sure we could change that. But then there were certain times when I did suggest certain things, and certain members that I'm not going to name, that they'll see an issue. For example, I called out someone for being sexist because my friend felt like this person was being sexist, which he was. And when I told him, he was not happy. Instead, he got frustrated and then he downplayed him being sexist, and he basically implied that my friend was being delusional and that's not true. And then it's crazy because a friend of mine who was in Terry TV, she ended up leaving because when she wanted to do sports stuff with the guys, they ended up kicking her out of the group chat, and she was not valued as a member, so she ended up leaving too. And the funny thing is that happened a year before my other friend left the club. Then the favoritism. Professor David, he favoritized people. He barely acknowledged me, and then whenever he did acknowledge me, it's usually for something that benefits him in the long run. This professor, he ended up going to a Yankees game, with two of the members in this club, in my former club. And the funny part is that I'm the vice president, but the person who was in the lower ranking than me ended up going to the game with President Brian, because Brian was the president. I felt that was weird because, one, he never invited me at all. Okay, if he did invite me and I said no, I wouldn't care, but he did not. Instead, he never told me anything about this. I ended up finding out on social media, and then I didn't care about it. But then, now that I'm a graduate, and there was this event that happened a month ago, and then I was like, nah, that's messed up. The more I thought about it, and I talked about it with my family, and they even said it too. That's messed up how I wasn't invited to the game, but the other member was invited. I tried to not take it personally, but then there were numerous things that happened before that too. And the only one who advocated for me to be in these major meetings was Antonio. So Antonio, if you're watching this, thank you so much for being amazing. There were even times I felt like I wasn't even the vice president. And you know what's crazy? Can you believe that my spot was going to be taken? I'm not sure if everyone knows this, but back in 2021, the original president, he was going to switch me with someone else because he wanted to change the whole e-board. He doesn't even directly tell me that, or that I'm going to switch it. Instead, he tells me while we in the meeting with everyone else, instead of privately telling me. And then he finally privately tells me, says, oh, I'm sorry that I didn't inform you in advance, blah, blah, blah. So that everyone was confused, like, what's going on. Then I told him I do not want to change my position. I like my position. So then he ended up telling me that, okay, we're going to see what happens. And all I'm thinking is, how you tell me we're going to see what happens if I got my VP position because I deserved it? He ended up ultimately keeping me as the vice president. I realized that something was up, but I never told. I told my close friends and my family. They know about this, but no one else knows about this. That tells you everything you need to know. If I have to give St. Francis College a rating, I would give it a C, which is a 7 out of 10, aka 70% approval. and 30% not so much, because when you think about it, you cannot control the people that you put within the school, and how you organize things within the school also plays a factor. And I do want to mention something briefly about the new school. After I've done my research, I understand why the school chose to move on to a new building, because it's new, it's a fresh start, and I believe that they think having this new building will benefit the school way more, and it's more aesthetically pleasing, I guess, even though once again I love old infrastructure. I don't know, that's just me. I'm an old head. Concluding statements and the outro of this video. St. Francis College is not a bad school. Can it be better? Yes. Could most students humble themselves? Yes. Is that going to happen anytime soon? Who knows? Yes, I've met amazing people at my school. Yes. Yes, I received an amazing education at SFC. If you see my Instagram post, which right away, follow me on Instagram if you want to. I've posted very personal things on my Insta story about my graduation. I usually do not share whatever personal things I've went through, especially within schools in general. So for me to do that, I meant every word I said. But like I said, yes, bad things have happened to me, but I'm thankful for the good things that have happened to me within St. Francis College. I do know there are certain people who do not like President Miguel, but I personally do. He's not bad to me personally. He never been mean to me, never. And we rarely interact with one another, so yeah. And whoever is planning to join any clubs, just be cautious, and also make sure you research before you join the clubs and do test runs to see which clubs fit you best. Though I had bad experiences at Terry TV, I also had amazing experiences too, and I learned numerous things. And if it wasn't for Terry TV, I may not have this channel. So thank you, Terry TV, for that. Thank you so much if you made this far in this video. I appreciate you. Be sure to like this video, comment, and if you are an alumni, if you are a current student and you would like to share your experiences at FCC in the comment section, feel free. I would like to hear your comments. If you have anything to say about anything that I've mentioned, feel free to comment. I would appreciate it once again. I hope this video helps someone join the school or join a club or two. Or thank you and